on set. Places, everybody. And action.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. As you can see, I have two more special guests here, Mr. Scott from Scott Aromatico, Tyler from Simply Fragrances, two good friends of mine. And we're going to talk about a few different things today. We've been chatting before we started recording. We probably some stuff we should have had on camera, to be completely honest with you. Scott, Tyler, how you guys doing?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Getting over this cold finally. So finally feeling pretty good.
So as per usual with the format for this, you guys have no idea what the main topic of discussion is going to be, correct?
No. Yeah.
So I like to tailor make a topic, and I've gotten to know both of you well enough through your channels and through private conversations that I think this would be a good one. I think we should discuss the age-old argument of niche versus designer. So me being a fragrance lover who loves all fragrance, Tyler, we lost you on video.
Yeah.
I like them from cheapies on up to $500 luxury limited edition niche. You know, I can appreciate a fragrance for just how it smells or how it makes me feel. And I'd love to get both of your input. Why don't you guys go ahead and start us off? Niche versus designer. Give me your thoughts.
Am I back on video?
You're back on video.
Okay. Well, Scott, you want to go first or?
Yeah, I don't mind either way.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. No. Honestly, guys, I just found out there was such a thing as niche probably about 8 months ago. So I'm kind of new to the genre. All I ever knew was the designers when I first got into this. And to me, those designer houses, when I heard the word Versace, and I'm just now learning how to say those right. I used to say Versace and Channel and Louis Vuitton and all that. So, but
Vuitton, I like that.
I used to think those houses were pretty incredible. I thought that was the cream of the crop and there was nothing more. And as I dove down the rabbit hole, so to speak, because of guys like you and other reviewers like Justin and stuff, I just started learning that there was this whole other genre out there, you know, called niche. And that really blew me away. So I started out with my niche habit through decants. Mainly because I have a budget and it's economical. And then once I learn to live with a niche fragrance through the decant, if I want to buy it, I'll buy it. But yeah, it's been awesome. What I love about niche a little bit more than designer is they tend to be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm an art guy, so they tend to be a little more aesthetically pleasing. They have stories. You know, look, I've got George's boxes behind me right here. You know, a lot of times your fragrances, when you buy designers, don't have nice boxes like this. You know, they don't take the time to, you know, put the details into it.
Yeah,
which
that's
is one of the things I love
handmade.
about. That's one of the things I love about Zaharoff is they there's no attention to detail that they don't pay, and you don't really get that a lot with some of the designer houses. So that's what I really like is the attention to detail. I don't necessarily find that just because you're paying more money that you're going to get beast mode performance. It's give or take depending on which house it is. I think also one of the cool things about niche, there seems to be, and I'll try to make this short so I don't take up all the time.
No, you're good.
From all the guys, the perfumers, there seems to be this mythological thing about them. So you tend to want to buy their stuff, like when you hear Mason or Francis Kirkjean or La Roche Dove, and so like you tend to think they have this magical elixir that and it makes you want to buy their stuff, I guess. And yeah, I'm just now learning a lot about some of these niche houses. I like Creed Aventus. Do I think it's the greatest fragrance ever made? No. But I do like it, but I still tend to gravitate towards the design. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm not, but I just
so happens to be what I'm wearing.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the perfect, and that's one of the things I was telling somebody today that keeps me going in this hobby is I'm always looking for the holy grail fragrance.
It doesn't,
you know, like I found with George's.
To me, anyways.
Yeah, and for me, George is one of the best I've ever smelled. That signature pour homme, and so I'm always trying to find something that competes with it, and that's one of the things I like. So knowing that there's niche out there gave me one more avenue to discover a fragrance that I really like. But honestly, if I had my way, I'd probably lean more towards the designers just because of price point. And I think they make a lot of good designer fragrances. So that's how I feel about it.
And just to touch on what you were saying about liking designers a little bit more, I guess technically I'm more of a designer guy because I like the cheapies. That my channel's based around smelling great and saving money at the same time.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy a good storytelling fragrance. You know, I like them to captivate me and take me somewhere visually, mentally while I'm smelling it. The artistry and perfumery is very important for me as well.
Yeah. It's
And I
awesome.
agree with you on Creed. It's not a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I do like it. Do I think somebody needs to buy a bottle? No, there's so many ways to smell like it affordably. It's unbelievable. Obviously, the quality's not going to be on the same level. That's the biggest difference there for me. But even with a very synthetic designer fragrance, sometimes they're just that much easier to wear and that much easier to like for people when it's out in the air when you walk by. Excuse me, when you walk by, that's where designer can just, I think, ease of use is probably
Yes.
a good way to label a designer. Whereas not necessarily more of a challenge with niche, with some, yes, very challenging. But for the most part, especially your more popular niches, your Creeds, Parfums de Marly, Roger Parfum, stuff like that, um, it's a bit more, you hold them in higher regard because you pay more for them. You smell the price difference, you see the price difference, therefore you treat them as more
No,
expensive.
you're absolutely
You know?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler, what are your
And
thoughts?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and one more thing, if I could add, is I'm also don't hate the inspirations, clones, whatever you want to call them, because of the price point. And, you know, if I'm just running to, I'm making up something here, but the laundromat or running errands, I'm not going to want to spray the Creed. But if I, you know, get a bottle of Black Sapphire by Sammy Anders and it smells just as good, and in some cases lasts longer on me, I'm okay with it because it was only $30.
It's a valid point. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, man. So I personally, I kind of think it comes down to almost, I don't want to say how long you've been in the game, but I think that just for the average person, that the designers are going to win every time. I mean, if you're just the average Joe, I mean, you just want to smell good. You just want to, you know, maybe get as many compliments as possible. You honestly might think that, man, paying $80 retail for a Versace is like the cream of the crop, and man, that's all I need, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But I think if you're in the game kind of like we are, we're not just, you know, loving to smell good. We collect. We have, you know, YouTube channels where
enthusiast level. You know, I consider us enthusiast level. You know,
we're almost to like a healthy obsession. Is what I would
call it healthy.
Yeah,
right.
That's true. But whenever you kind of get into that realm, it really opens the door up for the niche. You know, myself, I mentioned a couple of times, but I actually had a previous channel called Cologne for the Common Man, and that was because I never thought I was going to be able to get those niche fragrances. I never thought I was going to be able to get the Creeds and the Parfums and the, you know, the Bonds and stuff like that. So much like yourself, I kind of centered my channel, my first channel, around those fragrances that you could smell great for less. And then, you know, started getting a different job, started getting up into management, and now it's, you know, not out of the realm for me. And, you know, I kind of found a love for the niche side because for me, you know, kind of like Scott, I know Scott, you know, he's very artistic, and, you know, whenever, say you're doing a painting, you kind of want your painting to stand out. You kind of want your painting to be its own and not like everything else. And I found myself gravitating towards that because certain fragrances like Sauvage, for instance, I honestly really do enjoy the smell of Sauvage. But whenever that came back out in like late 2017, 2018, everyone and their brother was wearing it, and I was like, man, like, I don't want to smell like, you know, 16 other guys out there, you know.
That's a good point.
And so I kind of started, you know, gravitating more towards the niche side. But I would say for overall purposes and just everyday wear, man, I would say designer would probably take it, even though I am more of a fan of the niche side because I like the artistic. I like to, you know, smell a little bit different. But I mean, the best bangs for your buck, I mean, if you can smell great for $30, I mean, who's going to argue with that, you know?
And there's definitely ways to do so. There's definitely ways to do so. And look, are they going to be a bit more synthetic? Sure. But out in the air, when you're walking by somebody, if your goal, which, let's be honest here for a minute, I know that most people like to say, oh, I wear them for me. look, I wear them for me too. I'm not going to wear something I don't like how it smells. But at the same time, most people do want others around them, if they smell them, to think they smell good. Nobody wants, oh God, oh, what are you wearing? Who the hell
Right.
wants to hear that? You
Right.
know, that'll change the day for you right then and there. I don't care how proud of a person you are. I don't care what people think.
Absolutely.
Bullshit. That's going to bother you if that
Yeah.
happens. So the average person, not the enthusiast or the aficionado or the collector or anything like that, the average person just wants to wear something that may give them a little bit more confidence. They think they smell good when they're wearing. And in the event someone has something to say about how they smell, it's positive or extremely positive, because who doesn't, oh my God, you smell so good. That does happen.
Mhm.
Who doesn't like when that happens? Honestly.
Right.
So, and
Absolutely.
that's more likely with the average mass appealing blue style or fresh fragrance designer. Now, there are niche fragrances that captivate. Oh my God, what is that you're wearing? There's
Mhm.
that with niche as well. And the quality is on a different scale completely with most niche fragrances. That's one of the benefits of being in the niche market, is the level of quality, the artistry. And look, one of the knocks that designers get is for copying one another, or taking something that got popular for one brand and doing a slight little twist, coming out with their version. There's niche brands that are guilty of that too. You know, there's a lot of niche brands that are guilty of that. I have a few niche fragrances that smell like this. So
No.
that I actually like better than this, to be completely honest with you. Um, Hasabat, recent review I did, bondnumber9.com, Matar from Spirit of King, straight up niche clone house. That is what they don't hesitate to tell you they are.
Right.
Smokier batch of Aventus really performs better than this 19S11 batch that I have. You know, so
Yep.
for it, as much as I enjoy a good designer and understand the importance of them and the mass appeal and how most likely that's going to be the overall victor for most outside of our little community, I kind of have to, believe it or not, lean towards niche, because I'm more into the storytelling aspect these
Yep.
days than I used to be. I've always enjoyed a good storytelling fragrance. And for those of you watching, obviously, for it to tell a story, some companies will literally write a story for you to read. This is what they envisioned when they created it. Others, literally, it's just imagery on the packaging or on the bottle, and you can have it take you there as you smell it, as it changes, as it nuances. I've grown to really have a strong appreciation for that with niche perfumery. You just can't get that most of the time
No.
from designer brands. So I'm
Yep.
sure that kind of surprises you guys. You both went designer. You probably expected me to go designer as well, but that opinion has changed in the last year or so, really and truly.
Yeah.
No,
You know, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
no, I was just gonna say I love niche for all the same reasons. I love the storytelling, and one of my most favorite brands there is a Zoologist for that very reason. The artistry
Very
behind
artistic.
it, very artistic. The story, it's, to me, it's almost a collector's company because they make a lot of stuff that's kind of complicated.
Hard
It's,
to wear. Yeah.
yeah, but it's more for the collectors, I feel like, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, you sparked something that I wanted to say, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been promoting that I'm going to have Christian on my channel Monday. You know, I've been doing all these interviews, and somebody popped off to me in YouTube, or I mean Facebook, and said, "Oh, are you going to ask him why he clones everybody's fragrance?"
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't answer back. I just hit the heart button. But I was like, and this got me thinking, because I drive a truck for a living, so I have a lot of time to think and listen to people's podcasts. And anyway, so it got me thinking. I was like, how come in this world, when you walk into a candy store and you see a Hershey bar that's made of chocolate, are there not 20 other companies with chocolate?
To more than that.
Does Hershey's just have, you know, the market on chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
So you may find variations. Somebody may have almonds, somebody may have nuts, somebody may have the same exact ingredients, but it tastes totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And we accept that, but somehow we can't accept somebody taking a DNA that's similar and improving it, or making it more smoother, or blending it better, or whatever. I don't understand this thought process.
So in regards to Christian and Argos, as you know, I know Christian personally, great guy. He doesn't go out and smell other fragrances. I assure
know,
you,
so-
look, I'm not going to deny it. Triumph of Bacchus, yeah, it does smell like red tobacco. Baccio Immortelle, it does smell like Tuscan leather. To the average person, they're not really going to tell the difference. To a nose that has smelled a lot of fragrances, you will tell the gaping differences in the fragrance. Upon first spray, very similar. As you give them time to change, you'll notice the clarity, the cleanliness, the purities, the fruity nuances that are here in this one that aren't present in the one it smells like. There's a lot of nuances and quality differences in the fragrances. I'm not going to sit here and defend him to the point to where, oh my God, they're crazy to think they smell. No, they do. But like I said, to the average person, probably won't tell the difference. To an enthusiast, somebody that smells fragrances all the time, that's a hobby for them. Like me, for example, I'll just use myself for example. There's fragrances right here to my right. When I'm bored, if I'm sitting around in my office, guess what the hell I'm doing? Taking caps off, sniffing fragrances. Oh, I feel like spraying that on. Might end up with 6 different fragrances on my arm. To that person, you will tell all of the differences, which I know you guys are the same way. You're enthusiasts. So I get both sides of the argument is what I'm trying to get at here. I hate to not pick a side kind of thing, but it's not a side picking topic really and truly. That's more of an ignorant comment, I find. Which ignorance is just a lack of knowledge. I'm not calling anyone stupid here. Stupidity, hey, I have no cure for that. There's no fix for stupidity, but ignorance is a lack of knowledge. You can always fix ignorance in another person. You can always fix that. It's a teachable moment.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with you, Ross, on that. It's not really like a side picking topic, because think about this. So I know you're a sports guy. So growing up, in the 90s, everyone, man, they modeled their game after maybe a couple people: Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen. If you were in those positions, you wanted to not necessarily mimic their game, but those were the people you're going to look at and say, okay, he did this, so I can improve this, or I can model my game after this. Well, same thing with fragrances. Like, if this is working, why not take a crack at it? Maybe make it, a little bit different here or there. But if something's working as a business side, why would you not, take some sort of rendition on that? And then coming from the other side as a fragrance enthusiast, it's like, oh man, here we go, another Creed Aventus cologne, or here we go, another, blue style fragrance. And it's just kind of like, but I get it. I understand, from my point of things is, I want something a little bit more artsy, more, original, stuff like that. I was actually just talking to Corbin from Northwest just yesterday, and we were kind of talking about the same thing with Creed. It's like, man, where's the originality coming in? Because
I'm guessing Viking cologne sparked that.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Corbin's going to be on here next week.
Oh, is he? That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So we're talking. I was like, man, like their last release was 2017. That was Viking, and then after that, they had Creed Aventus cologne, and after that, they got Creed Viking cologne. It's like, well, wait, hang on a second. We have 2 copies of something you've already done. Why is that? But then the flip side is, it's working. It's selling. So
Look, there's some people that all they like to wear is Creed. My uncle David, that I worked for at Mercedes and at Toyota, which he's at another Mercedes store now, for Christmas, he texted me to let me know that his wife bought him a bottle of Creed Aventus. He was all excited to tell me. And sadly, I wish Marisol would have reached out to me, because I'm confident she paid retail at a Nordstrom or something like that, or Marcus.
Yeah.
So I'm sure his bottle was $400 and something. Unfortunately, I could have saved him some money, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy that he got it, because that's a prime example for people that aren't into it like us, but they've heard of this because a coworker or something wore it, and they're like, God, man, that smells good. And you hear it's expensive and it's a status fragrance and all this other stuff. So next thing you know, it's, what do you want for Christmas, honey? You know what? Get me a bottle of Creed Aventus. I'm doing great now. I'm making some jack. I'm doing this and that. I'm gonna give me a really good fragrance. That's probably the mentality that was, I know him personally. That's the mentality is, get the expensive stuff,
Yeah. And that kind of was that for me too, because, I never thought I'd be able to get a bottle. And then, here I am, I have, I think 5 different Aventus bottles themselves. And so, I'm just like, kind of look back and it's like, wow, what changed, but I can remember getting my first bottle. I felt like the king of the world, man. I was like, man, I'm class. I'm style. I got this. There's, like a status ranking like you're talking about. And so I can definitely see that.
Well, it's one of those fragrances that I was excited to get. And after I wear everything else that smells like it way more, way more. Not because I'm trying to save it. It's just, I actually like certain fragrances better than it. I was just in the mood for it. I had a hankering, don't know why. It's very random when I get in the mood to wear Creed Aventus, and today was just one of those days, especially considering I had the last time I shaved a couple nights ago, Emperor Razzle Rock shave soap and aftershave splash, which is Aventus, and I sprayed Mont Blanc Explorer, which is a version-ish of Aventus, and I wore Hassavat 2 days in a row, which is similar to Aventus, and then now I end up, so it's kind of been an Aventus style week for me unintentionally. It just kind of happened, and I'm capping the week off, which Saturday ends my rotation, with the damn fragrance itself. It's very strange how it worked out, but it just kind of happened. I don't plan any of this stuff unless I have a specific fragrance I'm testing, or if I get something in and I'll wear it and it's like, ooh, I really like that, I'll immediately start testing that one to do a review on. But everything's very shooting from the hip when it comes to my rotation. I don't really plan anything. And I get this question a lot is, oh, you have so many, it must take you forever to pick a fragrance. No, not really. As soon as something catches my eye, I'm like, shit, I'm wear that.
Yeah.
That's simple. I actually have less trouble picking a fragrance, having pushing close to 1,000 now versus when I had 50. I had more of a challenge figuring something out when I had way less.
Yeah, that's I'm kind of the same way. I just, I write them down on a board because I do my weekly fragrance rotations on Sunday. So that way I know what I've wore, but I don't really have a rhyme or reason. Like the only thing I'll really do sometimes, and my wife thinks it's the funniest thing in the world because, well, it's funny to watch, but depending on the day, like I'll go outside and I'll pick a couple. I was like, okay, today it's going to be 75 degrees, kind of breezy. So I'm going to pick these fragrances. And then I go outside and I smell them. And I was like, which one smells more like today? So I'll be out there on the deck and my wife's just seeing me like 3-4 different fragrances. No, this one feels more like today.
Now look, I totally get it. I'm not saying I do it, but I totally get it. And there's people out there, like if somebody was walking by your front yard when you're doing that, they probably think, look, this dude's batshit crazy. What is wrong with
Exactly.
him? Yeah. But I get it. You're picking the right one for the right temperature, for the right mood. This is the fragrance of the day kind of thing. Because it's important to you. It is. Yeah. It's important to us,
Exactly. Yeah. And certain fragrances, like there's some where like I'll think, okay, today it's going to be 65. So this is what I'm planning on wearing. And I'll look at my
check the weather when I wake up. That's the first thing I do.
You have to
today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. You have to. Yep. And so I'll think, okay, I think I'll probably wear this one. And then I'll look at my shelf and I say, oh, I forgot I had that. I'll reach back in the archive and, get that. And I was like, yep, that's the one. So that's about as far as planning as I do. But I mean, I don't like on May 7th, this time I'm going to wear this, so.
Scott, similar issue?
No, I literally just go in my closet. I have a long shelf up in my closet and I just look over it and I'm like, yep, that looks good. And then I proceed to spraying and that's it. I check the weather like you guys do too, make sure which one will work well. But other than that, I have no rhyme or reason to it. I just grab and go.
I'm so bad about this, and I touched on it recently in the video. So this little table that you can see in the corner right here has what I wore for the week, but behind what's been in the rotation is all the stuff that's been sitting there that I've been telling myself I've been going to wear for weeks. Chrome Aqua, I've been wanting to wear Lamal Summer again. It's been sitting there. Nautica Oceans, which I wear on and off. Moschino Uomo, that's been sitting there for almost a month now. I keep telling myself I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. It keeps happening. So I'm very bad about that. That's another part of the story I didn't really tell. I'll grab 5 or 6 fragrances or even just 3, and I'll put them on that table and say, this week I'm gonna wear those. I haven't wore those in a while. I love these fragrances. They've been getting pushed to the side, and then next thing you know, a month passes and they're still sitting in that same damn spot because I'll walk in here in the morning and I'll go and I'll sniff it, and then something will catch my eye. I'll put the lid back on and I'll grab that other bottle.
Yep.
So bad about that.
Man,
so bad about that.
I kind of am too. There's fragrances that like I got whenever I very first started collecting. I was like, I was obsessed with these. Like Explorer. I was obsessed with Explorer. I loved it. Like it smelled like Aventus, but I liked the dry down. And it was just a little different. And honestly, I think up until like last week or the week before last when I wore it, I hadn't picked it up in like 7 months. I was like, oh man, like it was collecting dust. And so I was like, yeah, I need to go ahead and I need to wear one of those. So
I used to not keep the boxes. I keep them for multiple reasons. One, obviously, it's better for storage purposes because I'm at the point to where fragrances will sit for months and months and months before I touch them, like you were just saying, but also the dust problem. It's a lot easier to dust the top of a flat box than all the little nooks and crannies of the top of a bottle or something like that. Because I'm extremely seasonal. Because when you have so many, why the hell not? Why not make what you deem a summer fragrance strictly in the summer? You know, so I look forward to the season when it rolls up. It adds another level of excitement and enjoyment for me. And I know a lot of other people do this as well. But that's the downside is a year might pass before I touch that fragrance. And then if I just so happen to not pull it out in that season, another year might pass before I touch that fragrance. That's happened a few times recently where it's like, damn, I haven't wore that in forever. That's very citrus heavy. I need to wear that before that top note spoils. Because that's going to happen in a few. No matter how you store it, eventually citrus is spoil. That's the first thing to go in a fragrance is citruses in a top note. I have an old 22-year-old bottle of Nautica, the original. The top note spoiled, but after 3 minutes, you'd never know it because that's gone. It fades off, and the heart and the dry down take years, even in a synthetic fragrance, take years to spoil. So as long as you can get past a sour opening, the rest of the fragrance is usually very matured at that point and still intact, you know, because a spoiled fragrance, people they'll smell that sour top note. Oh, this is bad. And they might throw it away. Just give it 2 or 3 minutes and fine.
But it's funny you said that. So me and Scott were actually talking about this earlier, and you're talking about spoiled notes. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. I was watching one of his videos and commented. He was saying that Jeremy Fragrance says, you know, for like Versace Mano Fresh, a lot of people put it in the fridge, and then when they spray it, it like gives more of like a refreshing type of vibe to it. But I've also heard that if you put it in like colder temperatures, it actually dilutes the life of it. And so that's kind of what I've always thought. Like, what do you, I mean, is that good?
It affects the molecular integrity. There is a way to do it, but it's got to be very regulatory with the way the temperature is set. It's not one of those things where you want it cool or cold like your refrigerator. It's almost like a wine refrigerator for wine bottles, essentially, where you want it at a slightly cooler temperature than room temperature, but too cold is bad for the fragrance, and obviously too warm is bad for the fragrance. So there's a sweet spot for stuff like that. I have never gone to that extreme. I don't need a fragrance from 1994 to still smell like it's 1994 in 2021. Some people do. Some people, they way more hardcore into it than we are. And I'm not knocking people that do that in any way, shape, or form. Hey, do your thing. I get it. It's just not something I'm interested in doing. If it spoils, it spoils. Shame on me, especially if it's something that I spent $200 on for a backup bottle even. And like your own Parfum, I can't even begin to tell you how long it's going to be before I go through the first bottle. I have a backup bottle. But I'll be damned if when I'm 60 years old and I decide I want it, I don't have a bottle sealed, ready to go. Because imagine in 24 years how expensive trying to get a bottle of that 75 ml would cost. Because they'll be out there on eBay. They will be. There's fragrances from 1975 on eBay. Okay.
Yep.
And it's outrageous. And I had a feeling what's going on with Dior and Parfum was going to end up happening. That's why I bought 2 bottles when I had the chance for $115 a piece. Because now you can't even get 1 bottle for what I paid for both of those.
Yep.
As far as the 75 mLs. Now in Europe, different story. Those of you watching in Europe, I understand it's different for you. Okay. Over here in the States, we have a Dior and Parfum shortage, if you will. But that's a prime example. Something like that, I guess technically I could refrigerate, but you got to look at it this way. I know I'm not going to stay in the same spot for 24 years. Talking about getting to 60, that would get cool, then room temperature, then cool, then room temperature. I don't want to do that to a fragrance. If you're secure and this is the house you're going to be in for the rest of your life, and this is going to be the room you keep your fragrances, and this is going to be this is going to be that, I could see doing that. But for somebody that likes to move around every couple of years, like I do, I like to live in different parts of the country. That's kind of one of the benefits of having my kids being out the house already, because my stepkids were a little bit older when I met my wife, is I can go on adventures my friends my age can't go on because they have 5 and 6-year-olds right now. I got a college student and a cop. You know, it's a little bit different. So
Yeah.
something like that doesn't make sense for me. Yes, it can be beneficial for longevity of your fragrance, but it can also be detrimental if not done correctly. I know that was kind of a long-winded answer, but it kind of gives you really where I'm at with it. Because the short answer could have been like, oh, he's against it. I'm not against it. It's just not something I want to do personally. I understand why people do it.
And I had talked to the perfume coach today about that. Callum, I asked him about this subject because me and Tyler were talking about it, and it's not like, I don't think Jeremy talks about it in terms of storing it. I think he just puts it in there so it gets cool, and then he comes in from whatever the heck he's doing, and it like somehow refreshes him. But Callum said that he basically was saying what you said. You know, you really want to store it at the temperature you're supposed to, you know, without any direct light. The heat is what's going to really kill the fragrance, not so much the cool. But he said it also depends on what the ingredients are that are in the fragrance as well. And you know, what concentration it is as well. But it sounded like when I was talking to him that he wouldn't bother with it. So
yeah, I wouldn't either. I think that's more on the extreme side of things, to be completely honest with you. I think keeping it out of sunlight, which the best way to do that, even in a situation where you have a giant window, like it's always super light right here on this left side of my face, which you guys are seeing, it looks like the right, but it's because I have a giant window right here. So during the day, even with everything down, it screws up the lighting in the video, you know. But point being, as long as it's in the box, it's out in sunlight. That's one of the main reasons I keep the box down. You know, some people, you know, big beard business, fuck the box, does all that good stuff. I get it. I toss the box around just for theatrics and fun. It's funny for me to, when I play the video back, to hear it hit the ground. It just looks funny to me. That's the only reason I do it. After the video, I pick the box back up and put the fragrance in the box, and it goes on the shelf. You know, for storage purposes. I don't destroy the box, but I have a little fun with it in the videos at the same time. So that's most important to me. Yeah, look behind the curtain. That's most important to me, is keeping it out the sunlight. You know, we've all been there where you keep it on the counter in your bathroom. You know, the worst thing besides putting it out in the sun, because it's hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. That's terrible for your fragrances too. That'll break down the molecular integrity of it as well, fast too.
Oh yeah,
who doesn't like a good hot shower? You know. And most bathrooms, most people, I mean, I don't have the bathroom of a $2 million home, so it's not the biggest room. So it gets hot and steamy in there quickly with a hot shower. And that's just so terrible for your fragrances.
Yeah. I used to put them in my car when I was like 16 or 17. I put them in my car.
Just as bad.
Yeah. Oh man.
We've all been there too when we were kids. You didn't know any better.
No, I mean, well, that, and I was 17, so it was like a $20 bottle of like Adidas or something, you know what I mean? But just, it was just something to wear. So
my cousin's thing was he kept his bottle of Fierce in there.
Fierce, oh man, that was huge.
He kept a bottle of Fierce in there. Yep.
Yeah.
This is back in early 2000s, you know, 2002, 2003. He had a Monte Carlo Super Sport back then. I remember distinctly when I discovered he wore Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, essentially. And he's like, don't tell nobody about this. I don't want nobody wearing this. Like, it's not some massively popular fragrance, but in my little town, you know, Jordan, one of the few people wearing it. But he used to keep it in there. And I didn't know any better then, because when he was 17, I was 19. So, you know, I didn't know any better back then, you know.
Right.
What not too many teenagers know that's a no-no, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know, like I said, I mean, I guess Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce is a little bit more expensive, but I grew up in a small little town, and you know, it was pretty much odds and end jobs, just trying to get $30-$40 to maybe get, you know, some sort of cheap fragrance. So it wasn't anything like super expensive that I was doing. So
yeah, when I was 18, 19 years old, I was more focused on getting enough money to get a bag. You know, that was the focus back then, getting a half ounce or something like that. And the crazy thing on that topic, you know, I live in Colorado, doesn't even interest me in the least. It's really perfectly legal here, and I haven't smoked one time. I haven't eaten a gummy, nothing. It blows my childhood friends' mind. They're like, why the hell did you move there then? The climate and scenery.
You're already high.
Yeah, the climate and scenery. Believe it or not, I could absolutely do it. Being perfectly legal now, and it doesn't interest me the way it did when I was younger, you know.
That's funny. Well, as many people around you.
It's ironic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably many people around you that do. You can probably get a secondary high. You know?
Oh, I smell it all the time everywhere I go.
Oh,
I mean, it's perfectly legal for recreational use here.
yeah.
I smell it everywhere I go. All those Marshalls videos and everything, I smell it every time I go to Marshalls. Somebody's in there shopping high out their mind.
I bet, yeah. Yeah, here, I mean, it's not even legal here. I'm in Missouri, and I live in an apartment, and literally every single apartment around me it smokes it. But me and my wife, we don't. We never really have. And I literally constantly smell it. And so people come over. It's like, hey, I promise we don't smoke, but
Yeah,
literally everyone else around.
That's them.
Yeah, it's literally guy to the left, up above us, and then to the left of us. So just you got to deal with it.
Yeah. So, anything exciting going on this weekend, guys?
Well, I don't know if take it full time, but
sounds like no.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I'm kind of excited. So every time we go up to St. Louis, we don't really have any like super big shops here. I don't know if you've ever been to Missouri or let alone Springfield. Okay, it's kind of a smaller. Springfield's kind of a smaller town. That's like 150,000. So not super small, but it's definitely
that's about the size of Homme where I'm from. It's right over 100,000.
Is it
small, but not too small, you know?
Right. You can get it kind of anywhere you need to go in about 15, 20 minutes. So,
Same.
But we have like Marshalls and, JCPenney, Sephora, stuff like that, but nothing for like higher end stuff. And so when we go Monday, they have a Saks and Fifth Avenue and a Neiman Marcus. And we leave like probably 4 hours early because it's like about 3 hour drive, but I leave about 4 to 4.5 hours early so I can get there early, go to those stores, kind of stoke out some different fragrances. And then after the appointment, we go back because it's almost like a godsend. Her doctor's office is like, I think 1/2 mile up the road from the Neiman Marcus and Saks and Fifth. And so after that, man, it's game on. And I go there and I smell everything. They got like,
dude, you should absolutely vlog doing some testing. That'd be a great video.
I've tried. I've bribed them. Like I was like, I will give you $50 if you let me just videotape sampling, whatever. They're like, we can't do it because I did it before.
That's a lie. They can. They just don't want to.
I guess because I did it before, and the security guard came and says, "Hey, there's no recording going on in here." I was like, I didn't see a sign or anything like that, man. So
that sucks.
Yeah. But there is one lady there, though. They're not technically supposed to do this. I mean, they can, but they're not supposed to do it. But I get like a bond, or I get like a MFK or something like that every little time. Like, we're not really technically supposed to do this, but she'll give me a little sample of it. So they got I want to say like,
well, because technically they give out the samples when you buy something.
Right.
Usually the case.
Yeah.
You gotta sweet talk them to get some samples.
Oh yeah.
Not something I've ever done, but I know people that have.
Right.
That's like a goal when they go, yeah, there you go. That's a goal. They want to get some samples while they're there.
Yeah.
I don't plan on spending $400, but I'm leaving with some samples.
Yeah. Exactly. And when I told them, I was like, I drove 3.5 hours for this. And they're like, you drove 3.5 hours just to smell a cologne. I was like, I mean,
here's my channel, Simply Fragrances.
Boom. There we go.
Check me out.
Yeah. So hopefully I can get that. But I just discovered there in the Neiman Marcus, they have the Acqua di Parma line in there. And I have Colonia, but I haven't smelled any of the other ones. So that's definitely going to be on my list to smell.
That's a house I need to dive into more. I only have Colonia Club. I've only had Colonia Club for like 2 years now. And like Sandalo Concentré, Colonia Intense, stuff like that. Those are ones I know I would like based on the note breakdowns. And I don't know. They always slip my mind and I never go at, and they're not that expensive, discounters and stuff like that, under $100 all day long on bottles, $60-$70 for some testers I've seen, certain sellers on eBay, depending on the fragrance, but $70 range. That's great for a quality niche fragrance, especially a popular one. I'd get this summer. I probably need to spend some time diving into the house a little more. I'm glad you brought Acqua di Parma up, actually, because I mean, hell, even Colonia Club, I haven't touched that yet this year. Last time I touched it was maybe the spring of last year. It's been sitting there. Yeah.
I broke my rule and blind bought a Senza, and I absolutely hate it.
Really?
Yes. Hate it.
I might want to buy that off of you. We'll talk after.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hate it.
Damn, and it's actually quite popular, but that's a prime example of how not everything's for everyone. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I won't. Right. I probably won't wear it at all. I probably just have it just to review it or take a picture of it or whatever. So it's doing me no good.
Well, I will tell you, since it's a fragrance people like, and if you say you're not a big fan of it, they will click dislike over and over on your video, even though they bitch all the time about how you like everything. Just
I know, right? I know, right?
Word to the wise. You know,
it's that loophole. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you like everything. Well, I don't like this one. Oh, well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, so it's funny you say that. I lost, I think, 5 or 6 subscribers whenever I did my review of Aaron Tarantu's Slut, because I didn't like it. Like it just didn't work for me. I think, I don't know what I said, but one of the guys was like, "You're absolutely wrong. You shouldn't even have a fragrance channel." And then like I saw like he unsubscribed or whatever. So I was like,
some people don't understand subjectivity, and they get all in their feelings if you don't like a fragrance that they do, especially if it's one they really like. They get all offended. Look, that's great that you like it. I've said it many times. That's great that you like it. It's just not something I'm really into. I don't hate it. I just don't think it's as good as some have said. That's my opinion. My opinion's not wrong, just like your opinion's not wrong, because there are opinions.
Exactly. And if you don't like it, then you suddenly bought a fake. You bought a bad batch or a fake, and the one that's my favorite one. Because I jumped on the Prada L'Homme bandwagon because of Jeremy Fragrance.
Oh, I love that
fragrance. And I bought a bottle right away, and I can't stand it. I ended up selling it, and someone told me I bought a fake.
No, you didn't. You didn't buy a fake, but now that you mention it, I'm glad to sniff on that a little while. I love that fragrance.
I smelled the other products, but I haven't got a chance to smell that one. So
this fragrance makes me happy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love it. But I absolutely adore Iris, though. Like I was saying with niche, how we'll hold them in higher regard because they're more expensive. This is going to sound strange because I even think it's strange. I like Iris so much that I don't wear Iris fragrances enough because I think they're so special.
I get that.
As weird as that is, you know, because and look, I got Iris fragrances that cost $40, like Kenneth Cole RSVP. It's actually a decent one. It's like a $20-something bottle, and it's decent. Orchid and Iris, it works. It's cheap. It's a little synthetic, but it smells great. Even something like that, I'll I need to wear that when I wear an Oxford or something. You know what I mean? I hold that note. A Iris dominated fragrance I hold in higher regard. I like to wear for when I know I'm going somewhere specific, you know, not just hanging around the house, not just running errands or something like that.
The background of that note, how they get it is insane.
Oh yeah, it takes a long time. It takes 3 years time to cultivate from Iris flower to Orris or Iris oil. It takes about 3 years.
Does it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They take the root, tons and tons and tons.
Yeah, they create it into a butter. It takes time. It's such a process.
Really? Yep.
That's interesting.
My perfumer explained it to me forever ago, it seems like, on the process. And because my perfumer, which I'm giving away a lot right now, my perfumer was shocked at how much I liked Iris. So he's like, well, do you know the process and everything? So he explained it to me. And I hate not saying who the perfumer is and this, that, and the other, you know, but hopefully this week, for those of you watching, hopefully this week. That's the plan. The plan is within the next 4 or 5 days. To be determined. We're not there yet.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm so ready. I'm tired of not talking about it. It's killing me.
Yeah.
I got the whole full presentation about a foot away from me right here, and I'd love to just show it right here. But it's right there. Full presentation's right there.
That's awesome.
I just got to get the green light. I'm making the video this weekend, just when I can release it. I don't know. I got to get the green light.
There you go.
I'm so ready.
I'm all in.
I'm so ready.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've got literally money set aside already.
Well, I can't wait for everybody to see the packaging. It's one thing that I love the fragrance. The fragrance is me. It's exactly what I knew right away what I wanted to create, and what came out of it is exactly what I envisioned it being. But the packaging is what everybody's going to be shocked by. It's the packaging is next level. These Yes, there's Zaharoff boxes, but they don't look like Zaharoff fragrances. Watch when you guys see these 3 presentations. That's going to be the biggest thing that the thing we're most proud of, aside from making the fragrances, is creating the packaging. That was an entire artistic journey on its own. It's not the standard Zaharoff plate and all of the boxes. I can't go into detail, but I can't wait to show everybody. That's been my response every time somebody makes comments. I can't wait to show you, not just tell you about it. I can't wait to show you what it looks like. It's I love how it came out.
Oh man, we're excited for it. I already told my wife, I was like, babe, I just want to let you know this year is going to be a really expensive year for us because we got Ross and Justin coming out with theirs, and Curly since she's got hers. I don't really know her as well, but I'm still going to get it just, for the support and stuff. Well, but then we get Dan. I just pre-ordered Bon Vivre, so that's coming. And so I was like, "This is going to be kind of an expensive year. Let's just."
There are 300 bottles en route to the United States right now.
Yep,
there are 300 bottles for the U.S. market. So,
yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I pre-ordered. I've been waiting for that because anyone who's on my channel knows I love gravitas. So I'm really excited to see what Bon Vivre is going to do.
And look, I hope nobody thinks it's some kind of marketing thing where we're saying once they're gone, and a week later, oh, guys, it was so popular, we're doing it again next month. No, we've been given strict instruction that that's a wrap. When they're gone, they're gone. Those that don't want to believe it and want to wait are going to miss out. And it's unfortunate if you were really interested in it and you decide to wait because you think it's going to come back around, just going to miss out. And then when you see all your social media friends posting about it, you're going to have some FOMO. You're going to miss out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you guys. I can't wait for you guys to smell it. I can't wait to just tell everything. I've created so much content for it in the last year and a few months. I've got video diary stuff that I'm going to be playing in the corner while I'm talking about it. Used different beard lengths when I was in San Antonio, sketches, all kinds of stuff, man. It was such a fun process. It really was. Once in a life for a fragrance lover, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. It really was.
Absolutely.
And I'm so honored.
That's awesome. Oh, good.
No, I was just going to say it's going to be great for you, honestly, but it's going to be great for Ross. It's going to be great for all of us as well, because it's going to inspire us to take it to another level. And I feel like, things are going to go that way in the future. I think a lot more people are going to reach out to content creators, and we'll get our opportunities if we stay with it as well.
It's transitioning that way. Over time, that's the way the market dictates everything.
Mm-hmm.
And as these things become more and more successful, or you see success, or it makes sense for certain brands, especially smaller brands, over time, it's going to get to the bigger brands. I've been seeing Ralph Lauren for Polo Green and Polo Intense Cologne Intense Eau de Parfum. They made a specific TikTok ad campaign with 4 specific TikTokers. I caught it early on with their hashtag. I saw the sponsored ad, clicked on the tag, and went look at they're sponsoring 4 TikTok content creators now. It's getting to where the bigger brands are going to do stuff like that, because influencer marketing is today's commercials, really and truly. It's what it is. And for niche brands like Zaharoff, for example, it makes more sense to be around channels you respect if you're going to do something like that. Channels you like personally, channels that relate and mesh with the brand better, whereas the downside is the stigma can be everybody's going to think we're full of shit. Not us, the 3 of us specifically, but in the future, they'll think, oh, you're just being paid to do it, and you don't really like the fragrance and all that. That's the stigma that comes along with it at the same time,
Yeah.
So, in which that could be the case with some in the future, especially with these bigger established designer brands and stuff like that. But when it comes to being able to create something from scratch, you're damn right I like it. I made it. I wouldn't be comfortable bringing it to market if I didn't love it.
You can tell you're doing it the right way, because a lot of times what happens is it's all made, all the packaging's done, all the ideas are thought up, and then they just throw a name on it and it's done. This is taking a while. So it's not like it's.
The idea for this started in October of 2019 was the first time it was told to me. and it just kind of evolved from there. So it's been, I mean, if we were to get to all the way to October, it'd be 2 years since George decided he wanted to execute the idea he had, you know. So as far as the actual work being done, it's been about a year and 3 or 4 months that we've actually been working, but the idea started over a year and a half ago when he wanted to execute it and start getting in line who he wanted to do it with, and all of that good stuff. And it's
You must be going crazy.
that's why I'm talking about it right now. Like, I'm so ready. I'm doing the video this weekend, so it's all fresh on my mind. It's killing me. It's killing me. I'm so ready. I've been ready.
Yeah.
And I want to preface this to anyone watching for future video whenever I do the review, just because, like me and Scott, just because we're friends with Ross or any of the other reviewers, just like you said. I mean, we're going to give honest opinions. We're not like in it just to kind of, you know, tickle you or your ego or anything like that, dude. Like it's going to be an honest review.
I don't expect anybody to make a video. You know what I mean? And I totally expect there's going to be some people out there that don't like it because there's fragrances I don't like, just like there's fragrances you guys don't like.
No, I'm going to lie and say it's good because I know you'll kick my ass. So I'm just going to lie.
Stop it. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, but that's one of my biggest pet peeves, though. Is like, I've literally had people message me, you know, like, you're just saying you like it because you're friends with George or because you're friends with this.
Oh, I get that crap all the time.
Dude, it's so annoying. It really is annoying.
I get that crap
all the time. No, because like, who was it? Kevin from Central Obsessions. He sent me some stuff. I did a review on it, and one guy, I'm not gonna say who he is because me and you both know, but he reached out and he was just like, "Man, you just making it feel better. His fragrances suck and blah blah blah." And it's like, no, dude, like I'm giving like
just opinions, you know.
Yeah,
it's all opinions. Some people agree, some people disagree. Some people will tell you they disagree. They might be more aggressive in the way they say it. It's just, it all comes with putting yourself out there on social media. It's all part of having a channel or a, you know, just when you're creating content in general, you're putting yourself and your opinion out there, and it's subject to scrutiny, and that's just what it is, you know.
When you're sitting on the couch, and comfortable, no one says a word to you. So when you're out there,
you're doing something with your time, you're creating something you're passionate about, you're enjoying a hobby or whatever and trying to share it with others, there are going to be people that are going to shit on you. It's just part of it. People shit on me all the time. I'm gotten used to it. You got to have thick skin for this stuff. Not necessarily. I'm nobody special, but it's one of those things that the more popular you get, the more haters you get. It's just what it is. That's true in everything, not just YouTube. That's true in everything.
Yeah. No haters means you're not doing anything, though.
Yeah. If people didn't hate me, I wouldn't be doing anything.
Right.
That's just what it is. So there are people who are going to dislike this a bunch because they'll be like, "What? This is stupid. Why are you doing this?" And whatever. Kiss my ass. Move on. I don't care. I have no problem blocking you, deleting your comment, nothing. Why do you delete comments? Because it's my fucking channel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave up there what I want up there because it's mine.
Exactly.
And with that said, now that I'm dropping F-bombs, I think this is a good stopping point. So guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, especially on a Saturday. Saturday is a special day for everybody because most people are off of work and it's time to spend with your family or do something fun that you couldn't do during the week. So I definitely appreciate you guys doing this with me.
Thank you so much.
So I will have both their channels linked below for those of you that aren't subscribed to Scott Aromatico or Simply Fragrances. Make sure you check them out before you leave this video. Until next time, everybody, have a good one.
Thank you, sir.